The fact that tomorrow's already March 1st really does blow my mind. What's going on, guys? I'm Chris, and welcome back to another video. A new series I'm starting up here on the channel called... I don't know what it's actually going to be called, but it's basically me chronicling every movie or TV show that I watched during the entire month. I'll post these videos at the last day of every month just because I feel like it's a nice little benchmark. I like to update you guys on what I'm watching. I feel like I haven't done that in forever, since like the 100 Movies project. Before I do this, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, as I'm trying to hit my goal of 72,000 subscribers here on the channel. It would mean a lot. And comment down below what you watched. What was your favorite movie or show that you watched in the month of February? I'm going to start on my Letterboxd. By the way, my Letterboxd is just Chris Bowie film stock. You can look it up. It will pop up. But I watched 3 movies in the same day. I got together with some buddies on February 4th. We wanted to do like a movie watch thing. So we watched, I had seen all these movies, but the first movie we watched was Collateral. Banger of a movie. I actually think I have a video talking about it here on the channel from years ago, probably 2 years ago now. But I own the movie on 4K. I brought it over, showed it to them for the first time. They all dug it. It's a great film. It's a 4.5 out of 5 for me. Tom Cruise playing that villainous role, you just love to see it, but it's such a cool movie with the sound design. Michael Mann just knows what he's doing, and this movie's a really big hit. It's a darker thriller, and like the club scene, the song choice there, perfect. And if you guys haven't seen Collateral, highly recommend it if you're in the mood for like a darker thriller. The next movie we watched was Reservoir Dogs, the first Tarantino film. 2 of my friends hadn't seen it, so me and my other friend were like, we gotta watch this. So we showed it to them. They dug it, and again, it's a quick hitter, like hour 35 type movie that just flies by. Tarantino's dialogue is just so easy to process and immerses you fully into the movie. And the last movie we watched, the nightcap, was Tropic Thunder, an all-time comedy for me. I mean, this movie is truly hilarious. You've got RDJ going off the rails crazy in this movie. Ben Stiller's funny, but the anchor, comedically speaking, is Tom Cruise. Without question, Les Grossman, played by Tom Cruise, is the funniest character in this entire movie. You've got McConaughey, Danny McBride. I mean, the cast is loaded. I don't know why I just did a little McConaughey twang there. Pretty much every comedic actor from this era was in this movie. It's so rewatchable, a damn fun film. Then I didn't watch a few movies for a while. I was actually rewatching Outer Banks season 1 and 2, which, by the way, I love Outer Banks. P for L, baby. I've got some Outer Banks videos on the channel, so check that out. And I'll go ahead and say I watched Outer Banks season 3 as well. So watched all 3 seasons. Banger of a show. It's pure fun entertainment, and it's gonna be a show that I will watch to the very end of the line. And then, of course, the one most divisive movie I watched in the entire month was Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I saw this movie early on February 13th. I have an out-of-theater reaction, a bunch of videos regarding it, but it's a movie that was extremely divisive. Actually, the tied for the lowest rated movie, Rotten Tomatoes wise, from the critics' perspective in the MCU, but by no means is it the worst MCU movie in my opinion. It's actually number 15 on my ranking. I just dig it. It's a lot of fun. It knows what it is, and I don't understand the critique that, oh, it's not a great trilogy capper. In my opinion, it is, because it maintains the tone of the first 2 Ant-Man films. Listen, Thor Ragnarok didn't wrap up a trilogy. We got another Thor movie. All of these movies, Civil War, that was literally Avengers 2.5, so I don't understand this critique that kind of came out of nowhere. It's like, well, it didn't wrap up the trilogy. Here's the deal. The trilogy has movies in between with Ant-Man appearing, so it's not even really a official trilogy in my mind. It just so happens to be that it's 3 movies, so by definition, yeah, it's a trilogy, but like when you watch them, they don't flow together as a trilogy. None of these do. So I don't know why that's really critique. But again, to each their own. I know I hear people's complaints. I understand them. I just really dug this one and don't understand the overwhelming amounts of hate that it got. The next day was Valentine's Day though, and I had a double feature. I watched Silver Linings Playbook, or rewatched, I should say, because that's an all-timer for me. It's probably like top 30 movies for me now. I've rewatched it twice within the past 12 months. It's a perfect movie. I mean, it gets me at the end every time. It's sweet. It's hilarious. It's just one of those great like rom-com drama movies that I've seen. By the way, should have won way more Oscars than it did. Bradley Cooper was snubbed. And then I watched Sharper early on Apple TV Plus. That is a film with Sebastian Stan, Julianne Moore, John Lithgow, and others. It's a very smart movie. It keeps you guessing from beginning to end. I guessed a few of the twists, but there were some where I was like, oh my gosh, what just happened? So there were shocking moments for sure. It's a smart, thriller film that you guys should check out. Then on February 19th, I double featured Creed and Creed 2, both rewatches for me. I've seen the first Creed, I'd say 3 or 4 times prior to this rewatch, and this rewatch just solidified it as a fantastic movie. Upsets me that Stallone didn't win an Oscar. He was snubbed. I mean, he really has one of his best performances, if not his best ever in his career in this movie. I don't know how the hell he didn't win an Oscar. And I rolled right into Creed 2 because I hadn't seen that one since theaters, since 2018. Forgot how damn great this movie was. I mean, it's almost on par with the first in terms of just being pure motivational, inspirational, any adjective like that you can throw at the wall. That's what it is. This movie lights a fire inside of me. It makes me want to run through a brick wall, and it's great. The first two Creeds are spectacular. And then on February February 21st, I went to an early showing of Creed 3, which I know hits theaters later this week. I was disappointed with Creed 3. I have a full review explaining why. I won't say any spoilers, of course, but Creed 3, I had so much high hopes for, and it just felt a little emotionally empty for me. It felt like the third act of this movie was pretty rushed, despite the fact that Jonathan Majors carries the movie, is a very compelling villain, and crushes it. It wasn't enough to just save the overall movie from feeling pretty unnecessary. I'll get into some grievances I have with the movie when I can talk spoilers, but the fight choreography was a little off compared to the other two movies. It almost felt like fake, like the audience looked very blatantly CGI to me, and that just took me out of it a little bit. But it was also lacking on those truly inspirational and uplifting scenes that I have come to expect in this entire franchise, both Rocky and Creed. They weren't really here, and I was upset by that, you know? There's no moment where I was like, damn, I'm gonna look back on this movie in 5 years and remember this is like the moment where I just want to run through a wall. In the first Creed, it was the training montage where he's running and the motorcycles, you know, drive up behind him and he's just like getting hype. In the second Creed, it's when he's training in the desert. There were very few training montages in this movie and they weren't the most memorable. It was disappointing, but it still had some solid entertainment for sure. And then I watched Cocaine Bear the next day. That's the last movie I actually watched this month. Cocaine Bear was pretty damn bad. Like, I went in expecting a dumb, fun movie, and at times it tried to be that, but also it's trying to juggle being an action movie, a horror film, a serious drama at times, and it just never really knew what it wanted to be. It had an identity crisis, and it shines through. I know that a lot of people enjoy this movie. It was not my cup of tea. I barely laughed. The best scene in the movie was the ambulance scene for sure. Tonally was all over the place, and it really took me out of the movie. It might have helped if I cared about some of these characters, but it was hard to because, again, the movie's only an hour and a half, and there's so many characters all over the place. I was like, who do I really care about in this movie? The only answer I have to that is Alden Ehrenreich and O'Shea Jackson Jr., who should have led like a 30-minute short. Would have been a great time, but of course we will probably never see that. But yeah, Cocaine Bear exists. It's a movie that did like almost 28 million domestically opening weekend. That's pretty impressive, but the movie was pretty bad. 2 out of 5 star movie for me. But those are all the movies I watched in the month of February. In terms of TV show, like I mentioned, I watched seasons 1 and 2 of Outer Banks yet again on rewatch, and watched season 3. I have some Outer Banks content again. Check that out on the channel. But I also watched The Last of Us. I know that I did a reaction series, you know, to start the show. I did, you know, a reaction series to the first 2 episodes. Stopped doing that. I just decided I'm gonna watch the show on my own instead of doing reactions. And episode 3 was incredible, but that came out in January. But episodes 4 and 5 I ended up watching this month, and 5 was a damn great episode. 4 was solid, a little slower moving, kind of a gap episode, but episode 5 was incredible. Not only did we get some action, but we got some great dramatic moments that really ripped our hearts out, as the show tends to do. And I actually haven't seen episode 6 or 7 of The Last of Us, so I'm a little bit behind right now, but I will get around to that in time. At this point, I feel like I might as well just wait until all the episodes are out so I can watch the last 4 bang, bang, bang in a row, because I've already played the games. Everyone's like, oh, spoilers on Twitter, but I already know every major story beat unless they make drastic changes, so I'm not too concerned about spoilers just because I have played the game. I'm enjoying The Last of Us. It's a great show, but I've just had other things that have occupied my time on Sunday nights lately. The other shows I've been watching in my free time are Seinfeld. I've been rewatching / watching for the first time. It's kind of complicated. I grew up, my parents loved Seinfeld, so I watched a bunch of episodes, you know, in random order, but I'm actually watching through it from beginning to end, and I'm somewhere in season 6, I believe, so it's a hilarious show. It's a comfort show. I usually watch it on my phone at night when I kind of like need to deflate and relax my mind in order to fall asleep, so Seinfeld's been a show I've been watching a lot of. And other than that, I mean, that's pretty much everything that I've watched in the month of February, from movies to TV shows. This was fun. It was basically just me spewing my thoughts on a bunch of random movies and shows I watched, so if you guys like this, let me know, and I will definitely be sure to do it next month in March, which is essentially the kickstart of summer movie season, so I'll have way more movies and shows to talk about then. I also started picking up reading Ralph Macchio's book. I'm currently 50 pages in, so I am going to be reading more, which might impact the amount of things that I actually watch. But in terms of like videos coming up, I know I had an update video talking about this, but I'm going to be, you know, rewatching all the Rocky movies to do a Rocky ranking. I'll have a Scream ranking, a John Wick ranking, tons of rankings like that coming in the month of March, so just stay tuned for all that. And I will be doing episode reactions to every episode of The Mandalorian. Very pumped about that. So yeah, this can almost serve as like a what I watched, but also a channel update every month to check in and let you guys know what to expect. So yeah, March starts tomorrow. We made it through the first 2 months. The time is about to change, which equals more daylight at night. Hallelujah. I'm very excited about that. But thank you guys for watching. Let me know your favorite movies or shows that you watched in the month of February down below. I'll see you guys tomorrow for my Mando episode 3 reaction, and possibly a Stranger Things full-length video talking about a new project they're doing. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.